Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July 29th. Halfway through the year, and we're going to put a little bit more information in your brain to be able to help you put a few more fish in the boat. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July 29th. Hey, we're joined by Gentry Gordy video this time. Love seeing Gentry on screen. Gentry, what's going on at Lake Martin?
Not a whole lot, Dano. This heat, this water temperature, man, it's just summertime fishing, Dano. You can go out there and catch them. It's not a lot of fun. There's not a lot of numbers, and even the bigger ones are kind of elusive. But I mean, it's still doable. I think it's still better with your nighttime fishing, but you got to look at 20 foot to 40 foot. To really do anything. I did get a chance to go up there. I caught my two better fish actually come slow rolling a big 1 ounce spinnerbait. Maybe it's just something different, that they don't see that time of year. And, caught a few on a Demiki rig with a little smelt colored minnow on there that Big Bite makes. But, man, other than that, it's tough. I mean, you got to really grind. You got to get deep, drag the old ball and chain around, big shaky head, stuff like that.
Lake Martin can be a little bit that way. A finesse jig or finesse rig like a shaky head or even a Nico might help a little bit there too. All right, let's talk Jordan Lake. I know that gets a little bit more current than Martin does just because it's a narrower lake. How do you approach Jordan Lake right now?
If you're a river style fisherman, to go up to the tail race, that water's always a little bit cooler. Still tough, but I think your better bites are going to come up that river for sure. With an A rig or just a little bit heavier swim bait, and even your shaky heads down there does a lot better. I mean, up the river. As far as the south end goes, you'd still get a bite or two, flipping mats, punching the heavy grass, but later in the day when it heats up, you got to really work to find the fish doing that.
That upriver thing, is that something that you want to get right up against the dam, or can you fish rock jetties and stuff like that coming down?
If you're gonna make the run up there, Dano, I would kind of start all the way up at the dam, and as that sun comes up, just start kind of working your way backwards, and then you start hitting your jetties and your deeper rocks like that. That's absolutely what I do.
Well, that's probably what I would do, though. But, folks, if you're going to do that, make sure to stay safe. Wear your life jackets. It's state law, at least 1,000 yards down from that thing. Stay safe. Keep that on. You never know when that water might turn on in a hurry. Gentry, as always, brother, we appreciate it. Thanks for your time, brother, and we'll talk to you again, man. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 29th. Hey, we're joined by Josh Herron, going to talk a little bit of Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's the best bite going down there right now?
At Logan, man, it's boats and hose.
A little bit of water skiing going on down there, I guess, huh?
A little bit of water skiing, a lot of Michelob Lights. Or Ultras, I'm sorry. Summertime, it's the Coosa River. Everybody's getting out and enjoying themselves. Bass fishing, you just kind of figure out a way to work yourself in the mix. Sometimes it's a little bit more aggravating than others. But it's man, we're dead in the middle of our summertime grind. You wanted to make it an early and often thing, but all day can be a struggle. The fish are still kind of keyed up on their river deal right now. When Alabama Power generates a little water, things get better. But outside of that, man, it's kind of a main river dock deal right now. Is what I would call it. Because when they shut the water off, these fish kind of get up and suspend and wander. So it makes it a little bit more challenging.
Are they wandering between docks? Are they wandering in and out? What are you finding them
No,
doing?
like
What's the best way to intersect?
they'll actually, like, when they turn the water off, these fish will actually kind of get out off the face of these docks and just suspend, really, and just kind of cruise around on bait. They don't really have to hunker down or position to feed because the conveyor belt's turned off. So current really situates these fish on the river to feed, and the main deal with the river docks is shade and brush supply, an umbrella from our Alabama heat.
What's your favorite way to target those fish on the outside of those dock ends?
Man, it's really live scope. Love it or hate it, it's a lot easier to do it that way. It's a lot easier to make a cast at a fish versus casting around hoping you run it by one. So, like little flukes, shiver shots, like a Z-Man Z2, any of that stuff, kind of on like a little swim bait style head, and you're making targeted casts at individual fish. So it's kind of like hunting in June, July, whatever we are now.
Well, Josh, as always, brother, we appreciate everything. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July the 29th. Hey, we're joined by Lee Pitts, the Crappie King of Weiss Lake. Of course, the Crappie King are probably playing court jester right now just a little bit, but Lee will do the best he can to keep us on top of those fish. What's going on over there, Lee?
Man, it's just the heat of summer. Right now, it's an early morning deal. You know, you can get out there at daylight and try to catch a few fish. But with this heat that we're having, once that sun pops up, man, they're looking for whatever color cover they can get into. I just got off the water and I'm soaked right now. I mean, I'm sitting here just sweat pouring off of me. So these fish, they're not wanting to do a whole lot. It's an early in the morning, late evening deal. The crappie, they're out there in that deep brush piles, just kind of holding tight on it. You got to beat them on the head to get them to do anything. Even with live bait, if you drop minnows down there, they're not going to run out to get it. You got to put it in the thick of that stuff and just sit there and agitate them enough to make them want to kill it.
What about the bass bite on Weiss? What's going on up there?
It's the same way, you know, early. And really our top water's kind of slowed down some too. It's still a spook, a little bit of pawpaw, something like that. But a lot of these guys, they're just skipping any kind of topwater and just trying to get out there deep to get a couple of good bites early and then just drag. I'm not much on throwing a Carolina rig. I call it a quitter's rig. But here lately, you know, they want something just kind of floating around in that current a little bit. So, you know, if you got to throw it, I'll drag a hot dog wing if that's what they want.
All right, let's talk Neely Henry. What's going on down at Neely right now?
Neely's about the same. You know, all of our Coosa lakes right now, if you get a little current going, that helps, and it'll kind of stimulate them a little bit, blowing some shad by them and a little bit of bait. But it's one of those things that they're tucking up underneath these docks. If you can find some docks that got plenty of shade, a big canopy on it with some brush in it, you know, that right there kind of helps your odds a little bit. But they're just kind of getting on those edges of the river when that current's flowing. When it quits, you better find you some shade, you know, some lay downs over some deeper water, something like that they can kind of get out of this sunlight and take a break.
Are you skipping docks? Are you flipping docks? Are you using finesse tactics? What do you think?
Man, all of the above right now. It's just you're going through your whole tackle box trying to find out what they'll hit. Really, here lately, I've been kind of I don't throw a spinning rod much bass fishing, but I can kind of do like I do my dock shooting for crappie. And I'm taking just a little old 6-inch worm with a 1/4 ounce weight and just throwing a little old straight worm up underneath there as far as I can go and hoping one will pick it up.
Lee, as always, man, we appreciate it. Thanks for the insights. We'll talk to you again next week, brother.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July 29th. Hey, we're joined by Tom Mott. We're going to talk a little bit of Guntersville fishing. Tom, it looks like Guntersville is still getting a little bit of flow going through there. We got about 20,000 CFS rolling right now. Is the bite decent, or is it still kind of tough?
I tell you, after we got the rain last week, we started getting that current that really helped position fish. I mean, we were still seeing a lot of schools out there, but the current really positioned the fish and helped them eat a little bit better. It just picked up dramatically. It was like a completely different lake this past week. It might kind of, fall back into those little doldrums a little bit, but I mean, right now, the best thing going is definitely an early morning topwater. If you're kind of into that still, I like a whopper plopper. It's been a good bite. Poppar's been a pretty good bite early. But as the day progresses, moving out to those ledges and things like preacher jigs, swim baits, jigs have really started to. The fish just really started to eat, is what I think it was. I don't know that the fish moved anymore, but they definitely got a little bit more active. So it's a good time to be out there for sure.
We talked a little bit of finesse tactics, maybe some Nico rigs, some of that drop shots, that kind of stuff on those ledges. Is that still going?
Absolutely. I mean, drop shot right now, especially if you can find some, some kind of cover, whether it be a stump or a larger rock, just about all of that stuff has got a fish by it. So, definitely you want to, I like my forward looking sonar there, but, your down imaging and your side image is what's really going to pay dividends right now for those larger fish. But just to go catch fish, anything along the river channel. You can pick up a small worm. I heard Lee talking about a 6-inch worm. Just a small speed worm, really, with a light weight along those grass edges, especially where you get the breaks and cuts and things like that. You can certainly pick up a lot of fish that way.
Texas rigs are going to produce. Are you having to go small, or are you trying to put a bigger bait in front of them to catch a bigger one, or is it like they're all eating small ones now?
Well, again, with the current, the fish just got a lot more aggressive, and we go back to the larger baits, 3/4 ounce preacher jigs, larger swim baits, things like that, and they seem to react really well to that. I think if the current gets really slow and you find yourself looking at a lot of fish that just won't bite, that's when I'm going to start working on those Nico rigs, pull out a Ned head, something along those lines, and see if I just can't finesse those fish into biting.
Tom, as always, brother, we appreciate the insights, folks. Follow that, you get a few more bites. Thanks for the time, brother. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys, y'all be safe. Tight lines. We'll see you out there.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, July 29th. Thanks to the guys for everything that they do every week to help put a few more fish in our boats. Don't forget, if you're looking for that new boat, whether it's a pontoon boat, an aluminum boat, or a bass boat, we got what you need right here at Bucks Island. Thanks to all of you for spending the time with us every week. You are the best part of Bucks Island, and we appreciate you more than you know. Also, don't forget, it's time for our winter hours. We are open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to noon. Other than that, stop on by, and we'll do the best we can to take care of you. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you again next week.